Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Enough channel. In this video we're going to do our live reaction for round 12 team lists, about to drop in 4 minutes at the time of recording. So we'll quickly have a look at the Sportsdeck Dream Team as usual on a Tuesday. So another good week for myself with a 959, which sees me squeeze into the top 500 overall. So slowly making some progress. Sorry, it's just a bit fidgety and itchy nose. I can't stop it. This is about the second go at it. But let's see if we can get into the team and push through. So Marshall King with a 43 and Ike Carousel with a 56. So, you know, sort of, I guess, worked out okay in the hookers. The front row, we had Payne Haas with a 47, which was a bit below average, but I think he should be named this week, so it's not too bad. Josh Curran with a 41, Terrell May with a 35, and Sam Hughes, our non-playing scorer there with 31. So solid contributions from the front row. In the second row, Angus Crichton's sort of mad run finally ended with a 40. Still okay, like, you know, 40 is probably the base mark we hope for. Smithies with the 50s bang on average. Nikora, 35, was a bit disappointing. Hopgood with a 56 just keeps doing his thing. And then Fini Fuiaki and Ben Travojevic in the 20s, but they weren't playing, so that was okay. Nico Hines, I was looking over here. Nico Hines was our vice captain with a 77, and I think that worked out, yeah, slightly down, but I guess, you know, had a crack at Dill for the captain. Dylan Brown with the 56 was, you know, good. And Galvin with a 64 would have been really nice to get him in the team. In our centres, you know, our centre scored well with Eero 46, Fungy 49. However, we did miss out on Tamara Martin's 82. So, you know, taking the sort of lead with SJ out, he absolutely brained it. Ethan Strange with the 35 was pretty good too. A couple of try assists in that. So, good hold there. And then our backs, so we did captain Dylan Edwards, 67. Tedesco with a 46 was okay. KO Weeks with a 59, so, you know, continuing to crush it at halfback. And Armstrong was our top scorer with a 89, so, you know, massive get there. So, you know, it could have been better if we obviously had Martin, Galvin in the team, but, you know, like, our forwards were probably as good as it was going to get, so Terrell May perhaps didn't need to be on our bench. Have a quick look at the game day as well matchup. So comfortable win over Hell's Grannies. So just trying to pick out. They didn't really have too many standouts. Galvin and Aitken probably the two differentials, but unlucky to have Wade Egan. You know, the Cowboys were a bit flat despite getting the win. Kai Pierce-Paul did start, so that's not a bad play there. And then obviously Captain Edwards as well. So, and, you know, a few non-scorers on the bench. And just having a look, looks like I top scored in the league as well. So, Field of Dreams was the only other one to get 900s this week. So, Captain Nico had Weeks, Pierce Paul. So, it looks very similar to my team there. Oh, hang on, I'm looking at the same players. Ruben Garrick with an 82 is a nice one to have. Harry Grant with an 81 as well was quite good. But, you know, Fenella Blake, the 28, Ruben Cotter with a 27. So I guess, you know, probably missed out on some points there from a couple of the big hitters. So it's right on 4 o'clock. So let's do the old refresh. And we've got team lists. So Jerome Hughes on the front cover is great signs. So the Bulldogs Dragons on Thursday night. So the Bulldogs looking very samey. Jamin Salmon back in. So Preston on the bench. I would have thought maybe after playing the bigger minutes last week, Preston would slide back up, but clearly not happy with his fitness perhaps, or just happy with how Salmon's going, I suppose. But yeah, all right, nothing really to note there. out of the ordinary. And the Dragons probably also very similar. Sully's back. I think he might have missed the week before with the concussion, and then obviously the bye. Um, Tom Eisenhuth named out on the edge. I'm not sure if that was what they had been doing, but Fatala Mariner and Leilua on the bench, so probably some rotation there. Yeah, it looks pretty similar. So yeah, it doesn't one change to the 17. So Leilua in, Murdoch Masilla out. So probably nothing major there. Cowboys Tigers. So the Cowboys. So Braden Burns gets another crack. Was pretty good last week. Tom Dearden looks like he'll be the front runner now for the six for Queensland. So I guess for those that were holding him through Origin, you obviously don't have to trade this week, given the matchup against the Tigers could be a friendly one. Um, but definitely one you may need to move on next week. Forward pack looks the same, so yeah, no changes there. I'm pretty sure. A few changes for the Tigers. So Declan Casey and Josh Folletti in the centres. Not sure what happened to Justin Olam. Did he get suspended or something? Yeah, suspension. Cool. So both the centres. That's not helpful, but they'll fill in, I suppose, and do a job. Matamua named in the 13 starting, so with 12 back to the bench, I think, as well, from memory. Jake Simpkin on the bench as well, so does that limit Appy's minutes? I don't think so, but just something to be mindful of. So nothing too major there, I don't think. Probably wouldn't jump on the Tigers centres. Um, but the likes of Papali'i, for example, prime targets for round 14 after the round 13 bye. So definitely one to keep an eye on there. Sea Eagles Storm. So the back seven's the same. Pretty sure. Pretty sure that's the same team. Just looking through it from last week. Yeah, no changes. Um, and for the Storm, so obviously Hughes a straight swap for Munster. I guess with the length of injury as well for Munster, maybe Tyron Wishart is worth a look. I know sort of have been avoiding him because I thought Hughes would come back and then maybe play 13 and that's it. But with Munster out, he's probably going to lock that down for a good period of time. So definitely one I'm considering bringing in this week in different formats. If I can obviously fit him in, he does have dual position, I think, across all of them. It's just finding the right position to fit him in. The forward pack's the same. So a lot of people getting on Ali Katoa. Can't blame you. He's an absolute freak. Um, yeah, so I think that's very much the same as well, except for Munster. So, Lodge is out. Who's in? Nathan Brown, I guess. Okay, cool. Raiders, Roosters. So the Raiders looking very full strength there from memory. Yep. No, nothing looks different. Maybe Emre Gula starting. Although I guess that's just with Josh Papali definitely out. So they might have been doing that all along. So Holler, the man on the bench to replace him. The Roosters, Manu's back, so he was only 1 week out. I saw doing some quick early research for the tops, chops, traps, and slaps. A few people trading out Manu this week. That is the craziest trade out. I'm sure they'll all reverse. Interestingly, Nafahu White named at 13, Victor Radley named on the edge. So, what happened to Nat Butcher? I don't recall. Drops back to the reserves, just straight dropped. Yeah, 19. Siwa Wong on the bench as well, so obviously just not not doing it for him. So interesting, maybe something there for Victor. What happened to Connor Tracy? Connor Watson, throat out. Okay, interesting. He's been a very popular pick, so maybe another one we need to get out of sooner rather than later. Sharks Panthers. So the Sharks looking very much the same. So, Trindle's still named in the reserves, but maybe Atkinson has won the place on merit. So I guess if you got on him, well done. A bit like Eero. I sort of was very skeptical on him, but it looks like they're very comfortable with Talakai coming off the bench doing damage and him playing in that back five. So again, looks like the cheap Sharks options have done the business. Few people keen on Hazleton. Surely he can't keep scoring tries, but you keep saying that and he keeps scoring tries. So I mean, more power to you if you've got him. But I'm not that confident in him. Would like to get on McInnes as well, but I have a sneaky feeling he's going to be in a blue jersey uh, next week or Wednesday week, I should say. Yeah, is it? Or was it 2 Wednesdays away? I can't remember. Something like that. 2 weeks away, maybe. And the Panthers. So again, pretty much, I guess if you another one, Paul Alamotti was a bit of a speculative pick, but looks like he's locked in now that Taylor May's out indefinitely. Potential to get on him for round 13 next week. Scott Sorensen named back on the edge, so could be a nice point of difference through Origin. Pretty sure he's a Kiwi too, from memory, so no fear of Origin selection there. Liam Henry back on the bench is good news for my team and those who have him. So why is Garner out though? Just straight missing out, maybe. I guess maybe because Sorensen is preferred on the edge. Makes sense. He's not in the reserves though. Weird. Don't know. There might be some injury news to come up. Rabbitohs Eels Saturday night. So Tane Mill named in the centres for Jack Whiten. So Jack Whiten moved to 5'8", Cody Walker at halfback. So I guess probably a move you thought they would make a while ago with Ilias out. Um, was it? No, sorry, Hawkins out. But they finally pulled the trigger on that move. So, it probably makes sense. Get your better players in around the ball. Uh, Forward pack looks pretty similar. So, Kyle Matangi named in 13 again. Might move to the edge with Duncan coming in or something. So, that's fine. Um, Eels just having a quick look. Still no Mitchell Moses. So, I guess you'd imagine he wouldn't be in the running for Origin. Like crazier stuff has happened. So Talangi at fullback's nice. Be interesting to see now that Arthur's gone. I think Trent Barrett's the interim coach. What he does with Gutho when he comes back. There's a bit of chat. Hope he might move Gutho into the centres as they've wanted to, and sort of give Talangi the season, particularly if it becomes a bit of a lost cause. So I think it might not be too late for Talangi. It's definitely a punt, but I think it might come off. Um, so yeah, going with the big bench as usual, but hands in the 18. It's always a wait and see. Last minute sort of changes. Um, so yeah, I guess we'll wait and see Saturday night. Broncos Titans Sunday at Arvo. So Reece Walsh back for the Bronx. Yeah, was he was there last week, wasn't he? I can't remember. I want to say he's back in. Yeah, back in. Yeah, knee. Yeah, thought so. Hard to keep up with some of these moves. Karapani gets a second game, which is cool. Billy Walters back in and the 9. Payne Haas named, which is a relief for those that have him. Um, yeah, I think pretty much standard. Titans, Tony Francis named on the wing. So here's one I had on my watch list pre-season. Um, Given I saw him in the trial, he carved up, and I think he's been pretty prolific in Q Cup from memory. So yeah, definitely worth a look. I don't know if I'll bring him into fantasy this week. Definitely have a free look, but after the bye, if he holds his spot, could be a nice little downgrade option. Um, the forward pack looks the same, so I guess Tom Weaver into half is what we expected last week, so that's happened. Like Kieran Foran floating in the reserve, so maybe Randall drops back to the bench. I don't know. Maybe Stimson drops off. I'm not too sure there. Um, Yeah. Oh, okay. So Aaron Shop's gone to Manly. That's why. Oh, I didn't even notice Fafita was in the centres. But there you go. Tony Francis, keep an eye out. Warriors, Dolphins. So the Warriors going with Tua Pickett fullback again. CNK at 6. Tomorrow Martin 7. So lock them in. Freddie Lussick named to replace Wade Egan. I saw a few people were keen on Laban, but I mean, bench edge is usually fantasy supercoach poison, so don't get up and excited about one game where he actually grew in value. He'll drop back down to minimum price very soon, unless he can get a run in the starting team. The Dolphins, so back seven looks the same. Forward pack, Max Plath back in the 13 is good signs. So Lemuelu and Kafusi changed late. Actually, I think Kafusi pushed the front row. Nichols dropped back to the bench. So just watch out for something similar this week. Um, but yeah, nothing different there. And that is actually it. So not a real lot of big team news. I guess Jerome Hughes in is good news. Um, Tony Francis, as I said, is one just to keep an eye on. Don't have to rush him in, but could be a nice little cash cow centre wing, mid-season downgrade option. Um, I guess Jack Whiten into the 6 is good news as well. If you've got him, say like in your NRL fantasy centres, for example, could be a pretty productive sort of area. Albeit the Rabbitohs do have the bye next week, so I definitely have a free look this week, and then round 14 get on if you're interested. No, Mitch Moses is probably big news as well. Um, but other than that, nothing too out of the ordinary, I think. So might be struggling for a couple of options in terms of the tops, chops, traps, and slaps, but I guess get around that tomorrow. But we'll wrap the video up there. Let's go back to the top. The Bulldogs were first on the list, so we'll celebrate that for once. um, and yeah, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below the video. Give us a like if you enjoy the live team list reveals and reactions. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. We're fast approaching 390. Seems to jump up in lots of 3 to 5 recently, so per day, which is hard to keep up with, but appreciate all the support. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.